Now, a First Alert Weather Breakdown. First Alert Weather Day Special Edition with meteorologist CJ Cartledge.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to the KSLA First Alert Weather Breakdown. I am meteorologist CJ Cartledge here talking to you about the storms that we can expect as we move into the afternoon and evening hours. As of right now, there are a couple of severe storms just outside the region to the north and west that are looking to move through our north and western portions of the region as we move towards our early afternoon and slowly make its way through the Arklatex as we move into the late afternoon and evening hours. The severe threat has increased since yesterday, and this stream will be dedicated to talking all about the storms and answering any questions that you may have about these storms later today. I'm live also on the KSLA News 12 Facebook page, as well as on YouTube and the KSLA News 12 app. I'm live on all of these streaming platforms, as well as Amazon TV, I believe, and Android TV, Apple TV, as well as Roku. Live on all these streaming platforms. If you have any questions, hit the YouTube live stream or the Facebook live stream to answer or ask any questions, and I'll try to get to them as swiftly as possible here. So those are today's topics, and we're going to be on a pretty tight schedule. So we're ending at around 10:53 or 10:55 or so, and make sure to tune in for Arklatex Artistry. That will be starting at 11 a.m. here on the KSLA News 12 app as well. So I'm going to go to the live picture as of right now through our KSLA Tower camera, sponsored by Matches Plus, and we're dealing with a little bit of some cloud cover as well as a little bit of sunshine peeking through those clouds currently. That's pretty much the story across all of the Arklatex as of right now. Once again, if you are in the, if you have any questions, make sure to make your way to the Facebook live stream and the YouTube live stream as well. Ask any questions that you may like, or any questions or any things that you want to know about. But I'll be explaining all the details here, and then I will look at the chat for any questions here to answer them. But as of right now, most of the areas dealing with partly to mostly cloudy skies here, just to set up for what we can expect through the rest of the daytime hours here for the Arklatex region. I'm going to move this off to the right a little bit. As you can see, most of us are dry as of right now, but rain is imminent as we move towards the early afternoon as well as the evening hours. We could expect this storm system to move into our far north and western corner of the region within the next hour to hour and a half, maybe about around lunchtime. Most likely, I should say, by around lunchtime is when we can start to see these storms pouring into the Arklatex region. Zooming out to the west of us, this is what it's looking like as of right now. And I believe none of these are severe warned, but they were severe warned. They have a history of producing 65-mile-per-hour wind gusts, as well as hail up to an inch, which is around quarter size. And we can expect those storms to slowly make its way into the Arklatex as we move through the daytime hours today here. I see there are already a couple questions here. How much rain are we supposed to get, and how bad will it be here in Shreveport? I'll get to that in just a second here. Not too long ago, I believe it was around an hour ago or less than an hour ago, a tornado watch has been issued for portions of the Arklatex, mainly the north and western half. None of our Louisiana parishes are under this tornado watch. This lasts until 5 p.m., and we could potentially see more issuances of tornado watches as this line slowly makes its way down to the south and eastern portions of the Arklatex. Areas included in the pink color are under the tornado watch until 5 p.m. The green color is a flood watch that it lasts until tomorrow morning, I believe, when this system finally looks to make its way out of the region. It's going to be definitely a slow-moving system. By the time it reaches our Louisiana parishes, we may be in our late afternoon hours and possibly into the early evening as well, maybe between 5 and 7 p.m. But I'll talk about more of that timing and things of that nature later in my forecast in just a couple minutes, or with future track, as I should say. Here's our severe risk for today. And as you can see, the highest risk for severe weather includes that brown range, which includes areas like Longview, Mount Pleasant, Texarkana, DeQueen, over in our north and western portions of the region. Some portions of southwestern Arkansas, most of McCurtain County, and all of our northeast Texas zones north of the I-30 corridor, including some portions, I believe that's Rusk County as well along I-20. But the slight risk of severe weather includes areas like Magnolia, all the way down to Shreveport, Bossier, and into Nacogdoches County over in southern East Texas. A marginal risk of severe weather is included in those down to the far south and eastern portions of the region, as you can see behind my head here on the screen. Here I see another question on the in the Facebook chat. It says, "Are we supposed to get a lot of rain this Friday?" We're actually supposed to get a lot of rain for most of the northern portions, mainly north and around I-30. We'll get the bulk of the rainfall through the next 3 days, but we do have a high risk for flash flooding through the next couple of days as well. So make sure to grab those rain boots and continue to unclog those drains. If you have any drainage areas by your home or around your home, or if you see any, make sure to unclog those that may impact you or someone else around the area, because flash flooding will definitely be a concern while these storms move through the Arklatex through the next couple of days here, at least through today and tomorrow. And we can expect some more storms as we move into our Friday. But here's a look at Future Track. This Future Track model seems to be a little bit behind on timing normally. So as you can see, it is moving just before the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But if I go back to First Alert Doppler radar here and go to this radar picture, it's already in the Dallas-Fort Worth area there. So it's a little bit behind on timing. So I believe you could add or subtract an hour from, just give or take an hour from this here Future Track model here. But we can expect the storm system to finally be into the region as we move into the mid lunch hour. I would say around noon to 1 p.m. is when the timing of when it finally hit our north and western portions of the region. Maybe a few filer or isolated showers and storms may increase or move in from the north and from the south and west and move north and east across the region. As we move into our afternoon hours or well into the afternoon, we can expect that line to make its way into the region. Here we are 4:30. It's only moved to areas along the I-30 corridor there, and it's going to move down to the southern half of the Arklatex or south of the I-30 corridor by the time we hit around 6:37 p.m. here. And here we are for Shreveport and Bossier. The timing looks like well into the night here, around 9 to 10 p.m. associated with this model here. But as it moves down to the far south and eastern corner of the region, that line looks to break up a little bit, and the severe risk looks to slowly but surely decrease in its intensity and its potential. As we move into the early morning hours on our Thursday, we could finally be rid of these showers and storms pretty much for the most part around the region here. But in terms of the flooding risk, I did mention that it was pretty high across the region, at least for the north and western portions of the Arklatex, under a moderate risk for flooding, a slight risk for flooding for Shreveport, Nacogdoches, and areas like Magnolia and most of our southwestern Arkansas zones, and a marginal risk for flooding for Ruston, Natchitoches, and our southwestern or southeastern portions of the Arklatex region. So everywhere around the Arklatex has a chance to see some flooded areas, some flash flooding. So make sure to once again find an upper level or higher level ground to stay on. If you are in a lower level or lower elevation is the word I'm trying to find here, make sure to unclog those drainage areas so allow the water to flow freely through the drains and not have it stopped up or flood your home. As we move into the next day, which is tomorrow, our flooding risk drops tremendously to only a marginal risk for half of the Arklatex, mainly the south and eastern half of the Arklatex region. And that flooding risk looks to increase a little bit as we move towards our Friday, as scattered showers and storms is expected once again across the area. The individual severe risks for our Wednesday shows a higher risk for flash flooding, an increased risk for tornadoes. Yes, there is an increased risk for tornadoes. The highest risk for tornadoes looks to be in our north and western corner of the Arklatex, mainly in our northeastern Texas zone. So if you are between I-20 and I-30 and in northeast Texas, you have the highest risk for tornadoes, as well as large hail and strong winds. That's pretty much high across most of the area, but it looks to be the highest for areas around I-30 and northward. They're all at an elevated risk with the exception of flash flooding, which seems to be at a high risk as of right now. Moving on to highs for today, as you can see, it's going to be pretty warm across the region. It looks to be the warmest down to the far south and eastern portions of the area, and the coolest, of course, up near Mount Pleasant, Idabel, and the Queen in the mid 70s. 81 near Texarkana, 83 for Shreveport and Bossier, 84 Nacogdoches and Longview, and 81 to 83 degrees for areas like Minden, Homer, and Ruston along the east side of the I-20 corridor. As we look towards tomorrow, our severe risk actually stays around slight risk for areas south of the I-30 corridor and around it as well. Marginal risk for areas to the far north and west. This is mainly when the system will be finally moving through the rest of the region down to the south and east, as well as a few isolated storms may begin to develop in those areas in the yellow color there. Mainly a damaging wind and hail threat for those storms there. As we move towards our Thursday here, we can expect that system to finally move through. Maybe a few other scattered to isolated showers and storms may develop here later in the afternoon. But as we move into the overnight hours, we look to be pretty much rid of all the showers and storms before another batch looks to arrive as we head towards our Friday. Here's a quick look at the 7-day forecast, and I'll take a quick look at any questions and comments that we may have here in the chats that we have on all of our streaming platforms. A KSLA First Alert Weather Day is in effect for our Wednesday, which is today, April 30th. But as we move towards Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, we're expecting a little bit of some rain for Thursday and Friday. But as we move into the weekend, we could expect drier conditions to last all the way into Monday before rain chances start to return. But temperatures are expected to drop heading into our Friday, mainly because the cooler conditions from the low pressure system that will affect us today will be affecting us by the time we hit our Friday, as the front will finally move through the rest of the Arclitex, lowering our highs down into the lower 80s and upper 70s for our Friday and Saturday mainly. And as we move into our Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, temperatures rebound back into the mid and upper 80s, or low to mid 80s, as I should say, for across the region for the rest of the work week here. So that's pretty much the gist of what's expected for our First Alert Weather Day today. I'm going to look at the chat for the YouTube. I don't see anything on YouTube as of right now, which is a good sign. Hopefully nobody has, I hope it was pretty much understandable across them for the most part here. So I don't see many questions here in the Facebook chat, but yes, there is a risk for severe weather today, and it looks to be higher for some areas rather than others, and looks to be the highest for areas in the north and western portions of the region. I'm going to show the severe risk once again once I change something with the settings here. Okay. There we go. Okay. So this is the main story for today. An enhanced risk of severe weather for areas to the far north and west, mainly encompassing McCurtain County, all of our northeastern Texas zones, Mount Pleasant, Longview, and those areas over there, including Texarkana. You guys are also in the enhanced risk of severe weather, which is a level 3 out of 5 on the severe risk scale. Magnolia, Shreveport, and Nacogdoches all under a slight risk of severe weather. Marginal risk for those to the far south and eastern portions of the Arclitex region. And once again, we can expect a tornado watch to last for those areas shown in the pink until 5 p.m. this afternoon. We should be having late storm in Shreveport after 5, right? That was a question from somebody in the comments, and that is true, yes. Going back to Future Track. So this Future Track is most likely, I don't mean to confuse you guys, but it's more than likely a little bit late on timing. As you can see by 6:30, or comparing this to the radar picture right now, it's a little bit behind. The storms are actually moving through the Dallas-Fort Worth area as of right now. So we can expect these storms and showers and storms to start to move through the region by the time, I would say, between 12 and 1 p.m. At the earliest, 12 p.m. or maybe just before 12. So around the 12 o'clock hour is when these storms will finally move into our north and western portions of the region, Red River County, McCurtain County, and slowly make its way down to the south and eastern portions of our area. And as you can see, it's still a little bit late on timing, so I would give it an hour and a half, or subtract an hour and a half or an hour from this timing here that you see. So around 7. So most likely, yes, it's going to be after 5 when Shreveport Bossier will receive these storms, mainly during the after the sun sets, I would say. It's going to be a very slow moving storm, and by the time we hit around 8, I would say around 8 o'clock, 8 to 9 o'clock, we can expect the storms to finally hit the Shreveport and Bossier area and stay in the area through actually most of the overnight hours until we hit maybe around 3:34, maybe around subtracting the hour from the model, which seems to be a little bit late on timing, around 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. What time is it supposed to move into Texarkana? So Texarkana, according to this model, around 5 p.m., 4:35 p.m. So subtracting an hour from that, around 3 to 4 p.m., I would say, for these storms here, because the storms are actually off to the. They actually, as of right now, they are about right here, and this model is saying around 1 p.m. they will be right here. So it's a little bit late on timing, and it usually is late on timing, but it gives a pretty accurate it gives a pretty accurate depiction of where exactly these storms will be placed, which is why I'm using this model here. And that's how it'll move through the region. Okay. Just to give you guys another quick gist of what exactly I'm talking about. This is around 10:30 or 10:48 as of right now, and I'm just gonna compare to what it actually looks on the actual radar as of right now. So around 10:30, it looks to be right there, and currently, right now, it's through the Dallas-Fort Worth area. That's why I'd say it's a little bit late on timing. So by the time we hit around 12 p.m. this afternoon, we can expect some of these storms, the northern half, or the northern part just west of or east of Sherman, to finally enter areas like Red River County over here in northeast Texas, as well as McCurtain County. It should enter these zones first and slowly make its way through the rest of the region as we move into the more and more into the afternoon. I'm gonna check the YouTube stream, and seems to be nobody asking any questions. Please ask questions, any questions that you may have, just to give you guys a better gist of what may be going on here according to associated with these storms. I'm actually going to do a little bit of a track here for this line of storms. I'm going to see how fast it's moving. It's moving at around 30 miles per hour. Okay. So let's do a track on these storms here. Go to properties. Okay. Pull a line all the way down here, and it's moving mainly east as compared to the last severe thunderstorm warning that was issued that has just gone out of effect here. So it's in Dallas right now, or about to be in Dallas, in the immediate Dallas area. It's moving through Fort Worth currently, that line down to the southern half of it. So DeSoto, Lancaster, around just after noon. Mount Pleasant around 1 o'clock. Texarkana 2:30 to 3 o'clock, give or take some time from that. Not Idabel, 3:18 and 4:15 from Magnolia over to the far eastern portions of the region. So I'm going to take this off. If it continues to move at that speed, which is most likely will, it's a very slow moving storm here. So I'm going to hang around for around 3 more minutes, and then I'm going to hop off of the live stream here. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys have any more questions, please leave them down in the comments on our Facebook page or on the YouTube stream that is up right now. Can you do the same for Shreveport? Okay. I'm going to do the same for Shreveport real fast here. Okay, I'm going to zoom out real quick. Zoom out a little bit. And then do a track. It's mainly going to move in this direction. So Shreveport, according to this timing, this is assuming that the timing or the storm is going to move at this exact speed through the duration of when this storm will move through. So it's not as accurate. So I would say Shreveport would expect these storms by the time we hit just after 5. I wouldn't use this to so strictly here. It does say 517 there, but it is more than likely that this storm will slow down or speed up at times. Slow down, it's more than likely slow down. This is going to be a slow moving system, as said before. But this storm system, the northern half is expected to move more into areas like Texarkana first. Let me take that off. The northern half of this storm is expected to move into our northern half first and linger there for a little bit before it makes its way down to the southern half of the region. So, according to this model, I'm going to go through future track once again. And as you can see, the storm will slowly make its way to the Arklatex by around the lunch hour. I would say noon. But just to be safe here, noon to 1 is when it'll finally move into our north and western portions of the region. And as you can see, it will move into Texarkana by the time we hit around, I would say, 3 to 4 p.m. is the timing that I would use for that because this model is just a little bit late on timing, as I've been saying through most of the live stream here. And the other model that we have is not as accurate as this model in terms of placement. So later on into the night, mainly during just after sunset, I would say, but by around 8 p.m., I would say Shreveport and Bossier could be seeing these storms hitting the area. But according to this model, it'll be around 9 to 10. I would say 8, maybe just after 8 p.m. But as we move towards the evening hours, or more into the overnight hours, I should say, we can expect these storms to slowly make its way down to the south and eastern portions, breaking up a little bit and getting a little bit less intense here by the early morning hours on Thursday. It should finally move out by the time we hit the sunrise hours on our Thursday, and cooler air should start to settle in later on into the overnight hours actually on Thursday, heading into Friday, which cooler conditions are expected here. So, Arklatex Artistry is going to be streaming at around 11 p.m. or 11 a.m., excuse me, around 5 to 6 minutes from now. So I'm going to hop off of the live stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys later on if we do have a tornado warning. Hopefully we do not, but there is severe weather possible through the rest of the day today. Make sure to stay weather aware, and I will see you guys potentially on Facebook. I'll be doing updates or issuing out updates through the rest of the daytime hours today. Austin Evans will be on at noon. Matt Jones will be on through 5, 6, and 10. Austin Evans will also be on at 4 p.m. Make sure to tune into those newscasts to find out the latest on the severe weather threat as we move into the afternoon. Thank you guys once again for tuning in, and I'm signing off. I'm meteorologist CJ Cartledge.